It's Captain Roger. Let's go for a walk. I'm kind of a news junkie. I don't obsess on it like I used to, mostly because it's hard to find true news coverage outside of print journalism these days. And print journalism is tending to be expensive for real news, although it is cheap for free or the kind of tabloid reporting that rules the airwaves in many prime internet sites. But picking around a chicken wing in hopes of getting the meat without getting a mouthful of fat and sinew and without getting breadcrumbs in your beard is possible. And news I can also find if I'm careful. Now, unlike chicken wings, I do find that solid news stories tend to be highly satisfying. Rather than catering to my particular political mindset or dazzling me with shiny or shocking images, solid news stories just lay out the facts and largely keep the opinions of the writers out of the way. Unfortunately, this can be very informative and often filled with the kind of information that is useful to me in one way or another. There's something else that regular watching of the news will teach you, which is that people, as a general rule, are horrible to one another in their personal quests for power, wealth, and status, which describes the chapters in the Bible we've come to in the book of Judges. Gideon, son of Abimelech, remember him, the one who wants to rule? Abimelech made a play to take over Israel by having some thugs come with him and ambushing and killing all but one of his 70 brothers. Then he declared himself to be king and spent the next 3 years slaughtering anyone who opposed him. Now, most countries become like the person who leads them, at least somewhat. And following Abimelech's example, there was a guy who decided he could do it better. And he started talking about how great things would be if only he were in charge instead. And so Abimelech came out to show that guy who was boss, which he did, killing many of the men who stood against him and then destroying the city that they came from, even though there were a lot of people there who supported him. And then he went to attack a nearby town because apparently, why not? But as Abimelech staged his army around the city's main defensive tower, a woman inside dropped a millstone down and it cracked his skull, leaving Abimelech with just enough strength to get his shield bearer to stab him so that it wouldn't be said he'd been killed by a woman. And once he was dead, everyone went home. What is the point of this story? Well, Scripture says that the wickedness of Abimelech was repaid to him, which makes it sound almost karmic. So I don't think that was the main thing it was trying to tell us. I think it was trying to say that when we walk apart from God, this is the life we find often follows. One that's driven by selfishness and that often becomes violence. Is that the moral? I don't rightly know. Remember, these aren't supposed to be simple morality plays. This is a story of the people of God walking apart from God and what became of them. Maybe what we should learn is that this path has been tried. And it didn't work out well for most people, even if a few escaped unscathed. So how about we try something different? Let's try walking with God in peace and community for a while. It's certainly worth giving a shot, right? Grace and peace to you all. I'll see you tomorrow.